everybody, welcome to Halfspin. Today I want to talk about Amazon kunai knives. Now, it doesn't matter the brand because they're all the same. If you search kunai knives on Amazon, you're going to get something that looks kind of like these. They are small, the blades are thin, they're double-edged, they're actually sharp, they have a little bit of cordage on them. They're pretty inexpensive and they usually come in like a pack of 6. They'll come with like a little paper target and some other things like that. All of the Amazon kunai knives are junk. They're too thin, too small to be actual throwing knives. I mean, you compare them to something like a TomTom Arrow, which is a real throwing knife, or something a little bit bigger like this AceJet Maximus. I mean, these are real throwing knives. These are kind of a sharp, dangerous toy is the way I look at them. But maybe you're really into kunai knives. Well, custom knife makers like AceJet, they make kunais like this double spinner kunai knife, and this is a real throwing knife. I mean, if you compare these, this is a monster compared to these kunais. These again are just a toy, a dangerous toy. So why do I call these a dangerous toy? Well, first of all, they're sharp on all sides. And if you're learning to throw knives, you definitely should not be using sharpened knives. Using false edge knives or knives with no sharp side to them is the best way to get good at throwing knives. The other reason these are dangerous is because they are so thin and light that when you miss, they ricochet. These are gonna bounce off of the target. And so skinny, thin, light knives are dangerous because they bounce right back at you. And when they're really small like this, you end up having to be closer to the target. And so that's a recipe for disaster if you're standing close to the target and you're throwing something that ricochets at you. So I do hate these cheap Amazon junk throwing knives, but because I already know how to throw knives, I can have fun throwing anything. So if you're just learning, do not buy these. But if you're going to buy these, I want you to know what you're getting into. You can actually have fun with these if you're treating them kind of like darts. To me, they're kind of like a hybrid between throwing knives and darts. If I want something to throw indoors, like in my living room or in a basement or in a bar, that's where these can actually be fun. I can't throw a full-size actual throwing knife indoors well because it's just too loud, it hits too hard, it does too much damage. But because these are basically a sharp toy, you can play with these indoors. So I can throw these inside and not worry about putting an entire hole through my wall. Because these are sharp on both sides, I give it just a little pinch grip so I'm not actually cutting myself. And again, that's why you're not gonna get great at throwing knives if you're using these, because you're not gonna hold them the traditional way that you should, but you give them a little pinch grip and then you give it a tiny flick into the target. And so you can see I do have fun throwing them as long as I know what I'm getting into. I treat it again as a toy. It's something that I can throw inside against a small target and I can kind of have fun with my buddies. If you love kunai knives, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell because I have lots of kunai videos coming out. Me testing out real kunai knives and talking about the history of kunai.